Hello everyone and welcome to this brand new video, Microsoft Scout. If you have been following Microsoft's AI journey, you have probably heard about Microsoft Copilot. Copilot changed how we interact with AI by helping us write documents, summarize emails, generate code, and answer questions. But Microsoft Scout takes things much further. Instead of simply answering your questions, Scout can actually perform work on your behalf. It can interact with files, automate browsers, run commands, work with M365 data, and even continue working in the background while you are doing something else. Throughout this video, we will start from the basics and gradually move into advanced topics, including enterprise deployment, security, automation, and administration. Whether you are an IT professional, developer, M365 administrator, or simply curious about the next generation of AI, this video is designed for you. So let's begin our journey into Microsoft's newest AI experience. First, let's understand why Microsoft even built Scout. Let's take a quick look at how AI has evolved over the past few years. The first generation of AI systems mostly answered questions. You asked something and the AI responded. The next generation, including Microsoft Copilot, went a step further. These systems could draft emails, summarize meetings, write code, and help you create content. Now we are entering a completely new era. Instead of waiting for your next prompt, AI can continue working after you have given it an objective. Think about assigning work to a colleague. You don't stand next to them every minute telling them what to do. You simply assign the task and they continue working until it is completed. Microsoft Scout is designed around this same idea. It is an AI that can keep work moving even while you are focused on something else. This represents one of the biggest changes in workplace AI. At first glance, Scout might look similar to Copilot, but there is an important difference. Copilot is primarily an assistant. It helps you complete individual tasks. Scout, on the other hand, is designed to execute workflows. Imagine asking, review my emails, prepare tomorrow's meeting notes, schedule a meeting, and create a summary document. Instead of stopping after one action, Scout can complete the entire sequence for you. It can read files, interact with applications, browse websites, create Office documents, and coordinate multiple steps together. That is why Microsoft refers to Scout as an autonomous AI agent rather than just another chatbot. Before we look at Scout itself, let's understand a brand new concept introduced by Microsoft. A few years ago, we kept asking AI to do one thing at a time. Now imagine opening your laptop and your AI says, "Good morning, I already organized your emails, booked your meeting room, and prepared today's presentation." That is exactly the direction Microsoft is moving towards. And honestly, that is both exciting and a little unbelievable. Let's see how Microsoft makes this possible. This is where Microsoft introduces a completely new concept called Autopilot agents. Unlike traditional AI assistants that wait for every instruction, Autopilot agents are designed to stay active in the background. They understand ongoing work, monitor what needs attention, and can carry out approved tasks without requiring a new prompt every time. Each agent has its own governed identity and operates within the permissions, security policies, and compliance rules defined by your organization. This allows work to continue safely even when you are busy with something else. Microsoft Scout is the first implementation of this new autopilot agent concept, making it an important milestone in Microsoft's AI strategy. Now that we understand why Microsoft created Scout, next we will explore its architecture, and see how it connects your desktop, M365, and enterprise services into one intelligent AI workspace. Before we continue, I hope you're finding this course helpful and enjoying the learning journey so far. If you're getting value from these lessons, I would really appreciate your support. Please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing your thoughts or questions in the comments. Your support helps us create more free, high quality learning content for everyone. Now that we understand why Microsoft created Scout, let us explore how it actually works behind the scenes. Unlike traditional AI assistants that mostly live in the cloud, Microsoft Scout is installed directly on your Windows or Mac computer. This allows it to work with both your local resources and your M365 environment at the same time. Think of Scout as an intelligent coordinator sitting between your computer and Microsoft's cloud services. It understands what is happening on your device, what is stored in M365, and how to combine both to complete your work. This hybrid architecture is what makes Scout much more powerful than a browser-based chatbot. Let's start with the first component, your local computer. One of the Scout's biggest strengths is that it doesn't just talk about your files, it can actually work with them. It can create Word documents, edit PowerPoint presentations, update Excel spreadsheets, search folders, and organize files inside your configured workspace. For developers and IT professionals, Scout can also execute terminal commands, run scripts, perform builds, and automate repetitive technical tasks. It even controls a browser using automation technology, allowing it to fill forms, navigate websites, extract information, or perform repetitive web-based tasks. The important thing to remember is that all of these capabilities operate within the permissions you have granted, rather than having unrestricted access. One of the real-world example is imagine asking Scout to update a project document, compress the project folder, and upload it to a portal. Instead of doing each step manually, Scout can perform the entire workflow for you. Scout isn't limited to your computer. It also connects to your M365 account. That means it can help you work with Outlook emails, Teams conversations, OneDrive documents, calendars, meetings, and contacts. Instead of switching between multiple applications, you simply describe what you need. Scout gathers information from the appropriate M365 services and performs the required actions. For example, it can summarize unread emails, identify available meeting times, draft responses, organize OneDrive files, or prepare meeting briefs using information from several M365 services together. But coordinating data across all these services requires intelligence. That is where Work IQ comes in. Be honest, how many Microsoft applications do you open before your first cup of coffee? Outlook, Teams, OneDrive, Calendar, Browser, Excel. Now imagine opening just one application and it handles the rest. That is exactly the experience Microsoft is trying to build. Let us see the intelligence layer that makes all of this possible. Work IQ is one of the technologies that makes Microsoft Scout much smarter than a simple search tool. Instead of searching only one application, Work IQ looks across multiple Microsoft 365 services to understand the bigger picture. Imagine asking, what happened with project XYZ this week? A normal search might only look through emails, but Work IQ can combine emails, Teams conversations, calendar events, shared documents, and other related information to create a complete picture. This means Scout doesn't simply retrieve information, it understands how different pieces of your work are connected. For busy professionals, this saves significant time that would otherwise be spent manually gathering information from different applications. Whenever an AI system can read files, send emails, or automate work, security becomes one of the most important considerations. Microsoft designed Scout with enterprise governance in mind. Rather than operating as an anonymous background process, Scout works within Microsoft's identity and access management framework. Its actions are governed by permissions, organizational policies, and existing M365 security controls. Sensitive operations can also require explicit user approval before they are carried out. We have now seen how Scout brings together your desktop, M365 services, work IQ, and enterprise security into a unified AI platform. Next, we will move from the architecture to the exciting part, exploring everything Microsoft Scout can actually do in day-to-day work. Now that we have learned how Microsoft Scout is built, let's answer the question everyone asks first. What can it actually do? This is where Scout becomes exciting. Unlike a traditional chatbot that simply answers questions, Scout is designed to perform real work. It can work with your files, browse websites, manage emails, schedule meetings, execute commands, create Office documents, and combine all these capabilities into a single workflow. Think of it as hiring a highly capable digital assistant that can use your computer, always within the permissions you approve. Let's explore each capability one by one. One of the Microsoft's biggest innovations with Scout is giving it the capability to work directly with files. Instead of simply generating text inside a chat window, Scout can create documents on your computer. Need a Word report, an Excel spreadsheet, a PowerPoint presentation? Scout can create them automatically. It can also edit existing documents, search folders, rename files, organize projects, and even generate dashboards. Example being, imagine asking create weekly project report using the meeting notes and save it in my reports folder. Instead of manually creating everything, Scout performs the entire task for you. For developers and IT professionals, this is one of the most impressive capabilities. Scout can execute terminal commands on your computer. It can run PowerShell scripts, build software projects, execute tests, install packages, and even troubleshoot build failures. Of course, Microsoft doesn't allow dangerous commands to run automatically. Scout uses a permission system where risky actions require your approval before they are executed. That balance between automation and security is extremely important in enterprise environments. This makes Scout useful not only for business users but also for developers and system administrators. Developers spend hours writing commands. Now, Scout says, don't worry, I will type them for you. Of course, you can take the credit for fixing the bug. Let's continue before the developers start shooting the messenger in the comments. Another powerful capability is browser automation. Scout can control a supported browser to perform repetitive online tasks. For example, it can open websites, search for information, fill web forms, click buttons, collect data, and even take screenshots. For example, suppose every Monday you visit 5 different dashboards to collect sales number. Instead of doing it manually every week, Scout can automate the entire process and prepare a summary for you. Microsoft uses Playwright technology underneath to enable this browser automation capability. Scout also integrates deeply within M365. It can summarize emails, draft replies, organize OneDrive files, schedule meetings, search contacts, and even coordinate calendars. One of the biggest advantages is that Scout can combine multiple services into one workflow. Instead of checking Outlook, then Teams, then Calendar separately, Scout gathers the information and presents a complete picture. For busy professionals, this removes a significant amount of repetitive work throughout the day. Creating documents is another area where Scout shines. It includes built-in skills for Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, allowing it to generate structured business documents directly from your instructions. Need a project proposal, a financial spreadsheet, a presentation for tomorrow's meeting? Scout can create these files in your workspace, ready for you to review and refine. It can even build interactive HTML dashboards for data visualization, making it useful for reporting and analytics scenarios. Research often requires checking multiple sources. Scout simplifies this process. It can search your local files, retrieve information from Microsoft 365, access online resources, and even launch specialized research agents to investigate different sources in parallel. Imagine asking, compare three cloud security solutions and summarize the differences. Instead of opening dozens of browser tabs yourself, Scout can gather the information, organize it, and present a clear summary with supporting references where applicable. This makes it a valuable assistant for technical research, business analysis, and project planning. The real power of Microsoft Scout is not any single feature. It is how all the features work together. You don't have to tell Scout which application to open or which tool to use. You simply describe your goal. Scout determines which capabilities are needed, performs the required steps, requests approval for sensitive actions when necessary, and delivers the final result. This goal-oriented approach is what differentiates Scout from traditional productivity tools. We have now explored what Microsoft Scout can do. Next, we will look at one of its most innovative features, autonomous AI, including heartbeat mode, automations, memory, and sub-agents, where Scout continues working even when you are away from your computer. Until now, we have looked at Microsoft Scout as an intelligent assistant that performs tasks when you ask. Now we are moving into what makes Scout truly different. Scout doesn't always need to wait for your next instruction. It can continue working in the background, monitor ongoing work, and carry out approved activities based on schedules or conditions. This is one of the biggest shifts in enterprise AI, from reactive assistants to proactive agents. Instead of waiting for every prompt, Scout can help ensure work keeps progressing while still respecting the permissions and controls you have configured. Let's begin with one of its most unique features, heartbeat. Heartbeat is like asking Scout to check on something for you at regular intervals. Instead of manually checking your inbox or calendar every hour, Scout can periodically review them based on a recurring instruction. For example, every hour, check whether I have any urgent emails from my manager. Or every morning, review my calendar and tell me if I have meeting conflicts. Heartbeat is intended for lightweight, recurring tasks that help you stay informed without constant manual effort. Since it runs when you may not be present, it follows a more restrictive permission policy than an interactive conversation. Heartbeat checks something repeatedly. Automations are different. An automation is a specific task that runs based on a schedule or when a condition is met. For example, every Monday morning generate a weekly status report. Or when a particular condition becomes true, perform a predefined task. Automations can be one-time, recurring, or condition triggered, allowing routine business processes to run with minimal manual effort. For example, imagine receiving a ready-made project summary every Friday afternoon without having to ask for it each week. We have all had those Monday mornings where we spend the first 30 minutes figuring out what needs attention. Now imagine opening your laptop and Scout says, I have already reviewed your emails, meetings, and upcoming deadlines. That's the kind of productivity Microsoft is aiming for. Let's look at another feature that makes Scout even smarter over time. Imagine having to explain your preferences every single time you work with an assistant. That would become frustrating very quickly. Microsoft Scout includes memory capabilities so it can remember useful information across sessions, such as your preferences and previous decisions. This helps Scout provide more relevant assistance over time instead of starting from scratch in every conversation. The stored memory can also be reviewed and managed, giving users control over what Scout remembers. Memory is not just about remembering preferences. Scout can also search previous work sessions. Suppose you worked on a project last week and cannot remember the exact approach you used. Instead of searching through multiple folders or conversations, you can ask Scout to find that earlier work. This makes it much easier to revisit previous decisions, continue ongoing projects, or understand why a particular solution was chosen. Another impressive capability is Scout's ability to delegate work. Instead of handling every step by itself, Scout can launch specialized sub-agents. Each sub-agent focuses on a specific part of the task. For example, one agent might research documentation while another reviews code and a third prepares a report. Once each sub-agent finishes, Scout combines their results into a single response. This parallel approach helps complete complex work more efficiently than processing everything one step at a time. Microsoft describes several specialized sub-agent types. The Explore agent. This helps understand large code bases or complex projects. The Research agent investigates documentation and gathers information from multiple sources. The Task agent performs operational work such as builds, tests, or installations. The Code Review agent analyzes code changes and helps identify bugs or potential issues. By using specialized agents, Scout assigns work to the component best suited for the task rather than relying on a single generalized process. It's important to remember that Microsoft Scout is not designed to operate without limits. Even though it supports autonomous capabilities such as heartbeat, automations, memory, and sub-agents, sensitive actions remain governed by approvals, permissions, and organizational policies. The goal is to reduce repetitive work, not to remove human oversight. Microsoft's autonomous AI with enterprise governance, so organizations can benefit from automation while maintaining security and accountability. Now that we have seen how Scout can work autonomously, next we will focus on security, permissions, and responsible AI, the most important topic for enterprise adoption. We will examine how Microsoft ensures Scout operates safely within organizational boundaries. So far, we have explored all the powerful things Microsoft Scout can do. But here is the obvious question. If Scout can read files, send emails, browse websites, and even execute commands, how do we make sure it doesn't do something dangerous? This is exactly why Microsoft designed Scout with enterprise security as a core principle, not as an afterthought. Every action Scout performs is governed by identity, permissions, approvals, and organizational policies. This is the most important one for IT administrators because these controls determine whether an organization can safely adopt autonomous AI. Everything starts with identity. Scout doesn't create a separate account with unlimited privileges. Instead, it authenticates using your organization's Microsoft identity. That means Scout only has access to the resources you are already allowed to access. If you do not have permission to read a SharePoint site or mailbox, Scout won't magically bypass those permissions. This is a critical security principle. Scout inherits the same identity and access boundaries that already exist in M365, helping organizations extend AI capabilities without introducing a new identity model. Not every action has the same level of risk. Reading your calendar is very different from sending an email or deleting files. That is why Scout classifies actions into different permission levels. Safe, read-only activities can often proceed without interruption. Actions that modify data, send information, or execute potentially impactful operations require your approval. Some dangerous operations are blocked by default. This layered approach gives users productivity without sacrificing control. For example, think of online banking. Seeing your balance is simple. Transferring money usually requires additional confirmation. Scout follows a similar principle for sensitive operations. Imagine an AI that deletes files without asking. Thankfully, Microsoft didn't think that was a good idea either. Scout pauses before sensitive actions, giving you the final decision. Your keyboard and your job are safe. Let's see exactly how approvals work. Whenever Scout needs to perform a sensitive action, it doesn't simply execute it. Instead, it presents a preview of exactly what it's about to do. For example, before sending an email, you will see the email content. Before running a shell command, you will see the exact command. You can approve it, deny it, or in some cases, configure similar actions to be approved automatically in the future. This transparency helps users understand and trust the automation process. Many organizations classify information using sensitivity labels. Scout is designed to recognize these labels during a session and take them into account when working with content. It also operates within M365 security controls and organizational policies, helping reduce the risk of inappropriate sharing. For example, imagine working on a confidential financial report. If that report is marked as confidential, Scout is designed to respect those protections rather than treating it like a normal document. This helps organizations maintain compliance while still benefiting from AI-powered productivity. Microsoft emphasizes that Scout is intended to assist people, not replace human judgment. The responsible AI guidance highlights several important ideas. Users should review AI-generated content before sharing or acting on it. Sensitive operations should continue to involve human approval. Organizations should deploy autonomous features thoughtfully, especially for high-risk scenarios. In other words, Scout is designed to increase productivity while keeping people responsible for important decisions. Like every AI system, Scout has limitations. It can misunderstand vague instructions, it may generate incomplete or inaccurate results, and it only has access to the information your account is permitted to use. That is why Microsoft recommends providing clear instructions and reviewing important outputs before sending emails, sharing documents, or making business decisions. AI should accelerate your work, but human judgment remains essential. The biggest takeaway from this video is that Microsoft Scout is not just powerful, it is governed. Every capability we have explored is designed to operate within enterprise security boundaries. Identity, permissions, approval workflows, sensitivity awareness, and responsible AI practices all work together to make autonomous AI suitable for business environments. That balance between productivity and governance is one of the Microsoft's key design goals for Scout. Next, we will switch from end user perspective to the administrator's perspective. We will learn how organizations enable Microsoft Scout through Microsoft Frontier, Intune, licensing, deployment, and administrative controls. So far, we have looked at Microsoft Scout from an end user's perspective. Now, let's switch hats and think like an IT administrator. Before employees can start using Scout, someone has to deploy it, configure it, secure it, and manage it. Microsoft designed Scout with enterprise deployment in mind. Organizations can distribute Scout through their existing device management tools, apply organizational policies, and maintain consistent configurations across thousands of devices. We will see how administrators prepare their environment for Microsoft Scout. At the time of this recording, Microsoft Scout is available through Microsoft's Frontier program. Frontier gives organizations early access to emerging AI capabilities before broader availability. This allows Microsoft to gather feedback, improve features, and validate enterprise readiness. Because Scout is still evolving, administrators should expect capabilities and deployment guidance to continue changing as Microsoft updates the platform. Being part of Frontier means you are experiencing the future of enterprise AI before it reaches general availability. Before deployment, administrators should verify that devices meet Microsoft's supported requirements. They're all listed on this image here. Scout is designed for supported versions of Windows and Mac OS, that is Windows 10 or Windows 11 64-bit. Users also need an organizational Microsoft account with the appropriate access and licensing requirements for the available preview. Because Scout interacts with Microsoft 365 services, reliable internet connectivity is essential for many of its cloud-based capabilities. Verifying these proper prerequisites early helps avoid deployment issues later. Can go through the requirements on this image. If you have worked in IT, you have probably heard these conversations before. Users want the latest technology immediately. IT wants to test it. Security wants to test the tests. And honestly, that's exactly how enterprise deployment should work. Rolling out powerful AI tools deserves careful planning. Microsoft recommends using Microsoft Intune to deploy and manage Scout across an organization. Instead of installing Scout manually on every computer, administrators can assign the application to users or device groups. Intune also allows administrators to control updates, configure policies, and monitor deployment status from a centralized management portal. This approach scales efficiently whether your organization has 50 devices or 50,000. Not every organization wants the same AI capabilities. Some companies may allow browser automation but disable shell access. Others might allow document generation while restricting autonomous workflows. Scout provides administrative controls that allow organizations to configure available capabilities according to their security policies and business requirements. This flexibility helps organizations adopt AI at a pace that matches their own governance standards. Deployment is only the beginning. Administrators also need ongoing visibility into how Scout is being used. Management tools help track deployment success, confirm policy compliance, and ensure devices remain properly configured. Combined with Microsoft 365 governance capabilities, this allows organizations to confidently operate AI at enterprise scale while maintaining oversight. Microsoft generally recommends a phased deployment approach for new enterprise technologies. Begin with a small pilot group representing different departments, collect feedback, identify issues, and fine tune administrative policies. Once the pilot is successful, gradually expand the deployment across the organization. This staged approach minimizes risk while giving administrators confidence that Scout is meeting business and security expectations. We have now explored the administrative side of Microsoft Scout. We have seen how organizations prepare their environment, deploy Scout through Intune, configure policies, and manage adoption using enterprise governance. Once Scout is successfully deployed, the next step is making it even more capable. Next, we will explore custom skills. One of Scout's most powerful features. You will learn what SKILL.md files are, where they are stored, how Scouts discover them, and how you can create reusable instructions to automate specialized tasks. This is the feature that transforms Scout from a general AI assistant into an expert tailored to your organization's workflows. Up to this point, we have explored what Microsoft Scout can do out of the box. Now we are going to look at one of its most powerful features, skills. Think of skill as a reusable set of instructions that teaches Scout how to perform a specific type of work. Instead of writing the same prompt again and again, you can package that knowledge into a skill. The next time you need that task, Scout already knows exactly how to approach it. This makes skills incredibly valuable for individuals, teams, and entire organizations because everyone can benefit from the same proven workflow. So, how does Scout know what a skill contains? Every Scout skill is stored as a simple Markdown file called SKILL.md. Markdown is a lightweight text format that is easy for people to read and edit. Inside this file, you define the purpose of the skill, the instructions Scout should follow, and any guidance needed to complete the task consistently. Because it's just a text file, creating and maintaining skills is much simpler than writing traditional software or plugins. Microsoft intentionally chose this approach so that both technical and non-technical users can build reusable expertise. Scout looks for skills in a specific folder structure. Inside the Agent Assets folder is a skills directory. Each skill has its own folder. Inside that folder is the skill.md file that defines how the skill works. When Scout starts, it scans these folders and automatically makes the available skills ready for use. This means adding a new skill can be as simple as copying a folder into the correct location. We have all written that one perfect prompt, the one that finally gave exactly the result we wanted. Now imagine never having to type it again, just save it as a skill. From then, Scout already knows how to do it. That's the huge productivity boost. When you ask Scout to perform a task, it first tries to understand your objective. If it finds a skill that matches your request, it loads the instructions from the corresponding skill.md file. Instead of relying only on the AI model's general knowledge, Scout combines your request with specialized instructions from the skill. This helps produce more consistent, predictable, and organization-specific results. That's one of the biggest advantages of skills. They reduce variation and improve reliability. Skills can be created for almost any recurring activity. For example, you might build a skill that always summarizes meeting notes in your company's preferred format. A development team could create a code review skill that checks coding standards before every pull request. A security team could build a skill that performs infrastructure reviews using the organization's own best practices. Instead of everyone writing different prompts, the entire organization benefits from one standardized approach. The real value of skills isn't just convenience. They help organizations capture knowledge. Instead of keeping best practices inside one person's head, those best practices become reusable instructions available to everyone. New employees can immediately benefit from established workflows. Experienced employees spend less time repeating routine tasks, and organizations achieve greater consistency across teams because everyone follows the same proven process. Creating a skill usually starts with a simple question: what task do I perform repeatedly? Once you have identified that task, write clear instructions in a skill.md file. Test the skill with different scenarios, refine the instructions where needed, and then share it with your team. Over time, your organization can build a growing library of reusable skills that make Scout increasingly valuable. Out of the box, Microsoft Scout is already a capable AI assistant, but skills transform it into something much more powerful. They allow Scout to understand your organization's preferred workflow, documentation standards, coding practices, review processes, and business rules. Instead of being just another AI assistant, Scout gradually becomes an expert in the way your organization works. That's one of the biggest reasons Microsoft chose skills as the primary extensibility model. In our next and final part of this video, we will bring everything together with real-world scenarios, best practices, current limitations, and a look at where Microsoft Scout is heading in the future. Till now, we have explored Microsoft Scout from every angle. We have learned what it is, how it works, how organizations deploy it, how skills extend it, and how Microsoft keeps everything secure. Now it is time to bring all of those concepts together. Instead of looking at individual features, let's see how Microsoft Scout solves real business problems. Because in the real world, people don't think about features, they think about getting work done. Imagine you are meeting an important customer in 30 minutes. Normally, you would open Outlook, then Teams, then your calendar, then SharePoint, PowerPoint. Instead, now you simply tell Scout, prepare me for today's customer meeting. Scout gathers recent emails, Teams conversations, meeting notes, shared documents, and your calendar information. It prepares a meeting summary, highlights action items, creates a presentation if needed, and even drafts follow-up emails. Instead of spending 30 minutes preparing, you're ready in just a few minutes. Now imagine you are a software developer, you have just received a new feature request. Instead of manually reviewing thousands of lines of code, Scout launches specialized agents. One explores the code base, another reviews recent commits, another builds the application, another checks for errors. Once everything finishes, Scout summarizes the findings and even generates documentation describing the changes. Instead of replacing the developer, Scout removes much of the repetitive work that surrounds software development. Imagine starting your workday like this. Open your laptop, give Scout one instruction, go grab a coffee, come back, and most of the repetitive work is already finished. That is probably the future Microsoft is trying to build. Now let's look at the administrator's perspective. The IT department deploys Scout using Microsoft Intune. Security policies determine which capabilities are available. Approvals are configured. Sensitive operations remain protected. As employees begin using Scout, administrators monitor deployments, review compliance, and adjust policies as the organization gains confidence. This is exactly how enterprise technologies are introduced: carefully, securely, and gradually. It's also important to understand where Microsoft Scout is today. At the time of this course, Scout is still evolving. Some capabilities are available through Microsoft Preview programs and may change before general availability. Like any AI system, Scout can make mistakes. Generated content should always be reviewed. Human judgment remains essential, especially for business critical decisions. Understanding these limitations help realistic expectations while the platform continues to mature. If you are just getting started with Scout, keep these recommendations in mind. Begin with smaller, repetitive tasks. Give Scout clear and specific instructions. Convert successful prompts into reusable skills. And most importantly, always review important outputs before sharing them with customers, management, or external organizations. These habits help you build confidence while getting the most value from Scout. Microsoft has made its direction very clear. The future isn't simply better chatbots. The future is intelligent agents that understand goals, collaborate with people, automate routine work, and operate securely within enterprise environments. Scout represents one of the earliest examples of that vision. As Microsoft continues investing in AI, we can expect richer integrations, more capable autonomous agents, better reasoning, and broader enterprise adoption. The platform will evolve, but the fundamental idea will remain the same. Help people spend less time on repetitive work and more time on meaningful work. Congratulations on completing this video. You now have a strong understanding of Microsoft Scout, from its architecture and capabilities to deployment, security, autonomous features, and custom skills. More importantly, you now understand the bigger picture. Microsoft Scout isn't just another AI application. It represents a shift towards intelligent agents that can assist with increasingly complex work while operating within enterprise governance and security. I encourage you to continue experimenting, build your own skills, and stay up to date with Microsoft's latest announcements, because this platform will continue to evolve rapidly. Thank you for learning with me. I hope this video has given you both the confidence and the curiosity to explore the next generation of enterprise AI. See you in the next video. Thank you. Have a great day ahead.